In this episode of Film Stock Reviews, I'm reviewing episode 7, Twice the Grieving, Double the Loss of Chucky. Now, this episode starts off with Bree's wake, Junior's mother, who passed away in the 6th episode. Evidently, they say it's a suicide, but we all know that Chucky killed her. And then all of a sudden, Tiffany shows up unannounced and walks up to Logan and kisses him and then says, "I'm sorry for your loss," and then walks away. Junior then confronts Jake and punches him and says, "You caused everything, you're a curse, and just leave me alone." So in the meanwhile, we have Andy, who abandons Kyle at a gas station because I believe that he doesn't want to see Kyle get hurt. And then you're just trying to figure out what's happening with everything. This was a very slow-moving episode. We really didn't have that much of Chucky in it. He was maybe in the middle scenes to the toward the end of the episode. But meanwhile, in a flashback, Chucky and Tiffany purchase an apartment in Chicago, Illinois, and the flashback takes place in 1988. And then another flashback happens later on where Tiffany finds out that Chucky is killing behind her back. They argue and then he storms out. You can tell in that instance that storming out of when Chucky leaves is starting the events of the first movie, where he gets caught and puts his soul into a good guy doll. Now we go back to present day, and Devin announces to Jake that he's leaving Hackensack because he doesn't feel like being here anymore, and he just wants to leave and go away for everything. And Jake says, "Let me come with you," and Devin's like, "No, I think you've done enough. Anytime I think of my mother laying on the floor dead, I always think of you." It's really, really crazy and really, really weird. And then at a town meeting, Lexi's mom, Michelle, also the mayor, decides to, continue the annual town screening of Frankenstein, so to speak, and raise money for the murders that are happening. So, while this is all going on, something strange happens. Logan, Junior's father, is slowly turning into his brother Lucas with the alcohol, the grieving, and everything. And then we find that Chucky has gotten through to Junior. Yeah, when Junior walks into his room, Chucky's right there. He turns around, and then they start talking. Chucky gets through to Junior, something that he couldn't do with Jake, because Jake didn't have that, how did Chucky put it, that playtime in him to start killing people. But evidently Junior does. So all the while this is going on, Devin goes to Charlie's Ray's house and finds that Nika is tied up. He unties Nika, but then he gets duped. It's not Nika, it's Chucky. Chucky tasers him and ties him up in a chair. So now all the while Jake is walking to the bus stop and he sits down and he sees a courier carrying a good guy doll. And then he pays the courier money to grab the good guy doll and wants to find out where it's going. It's going to 987 Sherwood Lane, Charles Lee Ray's house. So Jake is like, "All right, talk to me. What are you doing?" And then he says, "Hi, I'm Billy. This and that." So he takes the doll and just, smashes against the railing and puts it, and then brings it back to Lexi's house. So while that's happening, they find out that Devin is at the house. And then, when Devin wakes up, I don't want to give spoilers away, but it's very surprising, something you don't expect. There is a whole room full of these things. And when I mean these things, you'll know what I mean when you watch this episode, because it's very interesting and very shocking, but it's really, really crazy. Now, all the while, Logan, Junior's father, goes to Junior, and all of a sudden, Chucky reveals himself to Logan. And then, finally, spoiler alert, something happens to Junior's father, and with Chucky being involved in it, and it's a kind of a crazy scene. And Chucky got through to Junior, like I said, and it's really, really interesting. Meanwhile, before this all happened, Tiffany came to Junior's house and said to, looking for Jake, however. She was looking for Jake, not Junior or not Logan. But in the meanwhile, she tells Junior to never mention that she came here. So what's going on? What is Tiffany's idea? What is she planning? What's happening? We really don't know what the whole story is, but I'm pretty sure we'll find out in the season finale. So as this is going on, we see that near the end of this episode, Andy finally comes to the house. He's greeted at the house. He rings the doorbell, and then we see Junior and Chucky looking out through the upper bedroom window, looking down, and that is the episode. A lot of things are happening in this season, and especially in this episode, which is why it's called Twice the Grieving, Double the Loss, because we know why it's called Twice the Grieving, Double the Loss. Junior's character is really coming out in the full force, so to speak, especially through the power of Chucky. I don't even know where this is going to end, because episode 8, An Affair to Dismember, is the season finale of season 1, and I'm curious to see if there's going to be a season 2, because you still have a lot of story to tell with this, and if everything is going the way it is, I'm curious to see how it all plays out. What happens to Jake, Lexi, Devin, Junior? What happens to Tiffany? What does Chucky do? We know Chucky puts his soul now in different dolls, or he can actually put it in different humans. What's going to happen? I have no idea. It's going to be interesting for sure to find out and see what happens in this season finale. And, it's going to be insane for sure. So let me know in the comment section below what you thought about episode 7 of Chucky, Twice the Grieving, Double the Loss. Did you like it? Did you not like it? What did you think of it? What did you think of how the character aspect is working right now? And who do you think is going to be killed in the season finale, which is going to be crazy for sure. So let me know in the comment section below about the questions I just asked, and I'll see you guys in the next review video. And be sure you tune in next week for my episode 8 review of Chucky, titled An Affair to Dismember, the season 1 finale of Chucky.